everybody, welcome to another episode of the Collective Spotlight. I was trying to do green screen and I realized my lighting wasn't set up, so we're just in the green screen room today. But I have a really awesome show today. It was supposed to be Travis Gibb. Travis had a few unforeseen circumstances, so I have editor extraordinaire, my favorite Canadian, my explainer of Canadian bacon, Mr. Chuck Pinot. Chuck, how are you today?
I'm great, man. Surprised to be here, but anytime I get to hang out at the Collective, I'm happy.
Bro, you had that like 10-minute like, oh, are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm an editor. I'm at home. Like, of course I'm ready. So it worked out.
I'm one of those guys, like, I want to be jolted awake to, we got to do something now. And I'm like, okay, great, let's go. Like, I don't want an hour before work. I want 15 minutes of crap, pants, brush teeth, go. Oh, yeah, shirt.
Shirts as well. I can. Now I'm picturing Chuck running out of the house in Texas without a shirt, and it's too much. It's too much. So Chuck, you're taking your Travis impromptu, your Travis's substitute to talk about Expired, which you edited. Travis wrote. Brent, is it Heminger? Brent Heminger is the creator here.
Yeah.
I had Travis on before, but tell me again a little bit the premise of Expired. I kind of told a lot of people at like Western sci-fi is that they'd like it.
Yeah, but I think what you're missing there, because it does have that Western sci-fi feel, but it also has a lot of fantasy to it too. So it really is like a mixture of a lot of different genres. And I think like for Travis, I think it was originally delivered to him as a fantasy, and fantasy is just not one of the things that he works into as well, which is funny because he loves so much of the D&D and all that kind of stuff. But so it ended up being a lot more sci-fi. I love it because I like anytime you can blend things together, all that kind of stuff. Like when something like Final Fantasy VII came out and started blending the fantasy in with the science and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a lot of what's happening here. And of course, it's about a society where basically oxygen is, you only have so much ahead of you, and you have to survive with what you've got going on. So it's this element that you only get so much of.
So I feel like throughout the Kickstarter process, Travis was also mentioning like this is as close to a superhero book as he's had a chance to write. Obviously, like he's typically very grounded writer, other than when he's in the Cthulhu world. But like, did you notice, because you're his editor and you've been his editor through so much, did you notice that he had to kind of write differently and put himself in a different headspace to write Expired?
I think that he dug into enough of the stuff that he was comfortable with, that when he moved out of that realm, he still had enough stuff to kind of be able to grab and play with, that I think it kept him very, very grounded. So I don't think that you're going to walk into this going, ooh, he wasn't ready for this or anything like that. I think you're going to come in and go, okay, cool. This is Travis. It's just not Travis in the way I've seen before, but it will still feel like a Travis Gibb joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Travis Gibb production.
Right.
The whole oxygen thing, dude, I find so interesting in this story. Like other sci-fi, like Dune has the spices and everything, but I love the idea that the oxygen, I mean, we all understand how important oxygen is. There's not a single human being that doesn't get it. So the idea to put the stakes that high, like, do you feel there's a risk going with stakes that high that it's literally oxygen, you live or you die?
No, I think that's where they have to be, right? Like, I mean, especially like at this point, it looks like it's going to be a mini series, so he's not going to go too insane with it. So I think it's important to have some high stakes. I think if you have high stakes like that for an ongoing, and let's throw something out there like Spawn, where when it started, he had that countdown of how much he could use his powers. We all knew right away, like, that's not gonna last, man. You can't keep that going through an ongoing series. Yeah. So I think that's why it's smart, if you're doing something smaller like this, make the stakes big, because we only have so much time to play with it anyways. So let's go big or go home.
I like it. And Travis typically, actually, all of you guys over at like Orange Cone Productions typically are of that mindset. Go big or go home. I mean, Travis has come a long way. Actually, I figured we do this at the end, but Travis pretty well. I feel like Travis has come a long way from Broke Down in Four Dead Bodies #1 to what he's doing, not just on pen and paper, but like in general now. How have you seen Orange Cone Productions and Travis and all that kind of grow throughout all this?
Orange Cone's production was let's be like perfectly honest. It was basically a vanity press. It was, hey, he's gonna do his own stuff, and it was probably gonna mostly be things like Broke Down and his own stuff. And he has changed to really. I think a lot of it started when we started working on the Advocator. We started working with other creators. Then he did things like Cthulhu Invades Oz, and it was him kind of going, no, you know what? Like, I love what I do, but I also really love my community, and I love finding a way to connect with them. And so he's now doing that with everything he touches, even with his own books, like Expired, like Voodoo Nations. He finds people in the community that he thinks are doing work and aren't getting seen. Hey, do you want to do a cover? Hey, do you want to do a short? Anything like that. So yeah, man, I think it's really grown as he's grown as a person and as a member of the indie comics community.
Yeah, man. I mean, he gave me my opportunity to write that story, that one page in there. And then obviously he pretty much was, I mean, we didn't put Orange Cone Production anywhere on the book, but he was our project manager on the Tales from the Collective Initiative. And I'll admit 100% that doesn't happen without Travis, because we didn't have the manpower to do that. And he was on shows talking about our book. The guy is very selfless, and it's awesome that he surrounded himself with you guys.
And he's smart in that he knows what he can do and can't do. So things like, he was like, hey, Chuck, can you help these guys out? If anybody needs an editor or whatnot, can you take a look at it? So Dave Galliano got in touch with me. I believe it was Megan.
Yep.
Megan got in touch with me, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad to help. And it was never about money or anything about that. It was just, man, let's just make some cool books. And of course, my wife was in the book too. So to me, it was like, why not do everything I can to make sure that I love in an anthology. All too often you get an anthology and you go, all right, which one's the one that sucks? Like which story sucks? And I do that when I'm in an anthology, so I can at least go, okay, well, I'm better than that. But like in the Collective, in Cthulhu Invades Oz, I like that I can look around and go, ooh, it might be me. Like, these are really good pieces. And I like that challenge. I like coming into it knowing I got to work my butt off because everyone else is too.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really lucky with that first team on the first Collective Initiative book, because I mean, dude, Travis, obviously, we get Jonathan Hedrick, who's, I mean, the guy is hot right now. I mean, the fact that we were able to get him is crazy. Then David Galliano, who he's only got the one credit with Savage Bastards right now, but the guy's writing talent is there. He's just got to he's finding the way to get it out there, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I actually edited the first issue of Wild Growth. When it goes to a full miniseries, I'll be the guy behind that one. And I can tell you, that's going to be such a good series. So
everybody's high on it.
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be nuts. Like, I'm really excited about it. And we got to do some really cool work on it. And he was such a great guy to work with. Although, I mean, honestly, Travis surrounds himself with really good people. And that's not, because I'm in there, but I mean, even just, right? Obviously. No, but looking around at all the other people that he's surrounded himself in and brought in there, they're just really good people who care about the work, who want to do good work. And it shows.
Oh, for sure. And we didn't barely even mention Holiday Spirits. I mean, but he's just nonstop. And I know his 2020, your guys, all 2022 is going to be crazy. In Expired, how long, what was the production? Because I know Travis is putting tons of things out all the time. What was the production schedule like on this? How quickly did you guys knock this out?
I mean, for us, it was pretty quick. For him and I, it was a pretty quick back and forth. And then I was randomly sent like, hey, dude, here's some artwork. What do you think about this artist? Stuff like that. So it felt like it happened pretty quick. So I'm not really sure. Because again, like Meanwhile, I've got like 17 other things happening, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what about expired? I'm like, cool, let's look at that. Dude, I like this. Let's change that. Let's work on that. Cool, great. Throw it back, go back to whatever else I'm working on. So it felt like it came together really well. I at no point was like, oh, when is this thing going to be done? So no, I think they kept at it pretty hard. And of course, that's hard to do when you're effectively publishing someone else's book, because of course he's not the creator of it. It would be very easy for Travis to have written fluff, not cared, not worried too much about the publishing, because I mean, even just the things that he has going on now, it's all so big. So how's he going to find the time, the passion, all that kind of stuff to put out somebody else's book? But he did, and he did it.
Well, and the biggest thing you said there was passion, because it's like it's easy for him to drag himself out of bed and sit at the computer or whatnot, but to care, you know, I mean, the guy promoted it. I wouldn't have known if he doesn't say, "Oh, this is, you know, Brent's work and I'm just writing it." I wouldn't have known this isn't a Travis Gibb creation, because he still had just as much heart and soul in it as he's had in the past, which I love.
It was like any one of his other projects. Absolutely, I totally agree.
And so Trish and Mike are in the comments. Trish says, "Sexy bitch, I miss you." I think she's talking about you.
I you know what? It could be both of us.
And Mike says Chuck, and then he's
What's up,
busting out Danny 9 panels. So Dr. DMP. But dude, so Chuck, tell us a little bit. I know we had you on maybe I think a while back, and we talked a little bit about the editor process. But tell people what it is. Oh, look, there's Wendy.
There was Wendy. Yeah, Wendy, can you wave real quick? Ah!
She's been in our store. We have her book. You can see her characters too.
Yeah. Hi, Danny.
Hi. But Chuck, tell people what it is that the editor process in a comic book is, because it's not just copy editing, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys, it really runs the plethora, and it's really kind of a lot of times up to the creator or up to the editor to go, hey, you need work on this too. You know what I mean? So yeah, copy editing. I like to come in before everything. I want to come in before the script. I want to see your outline, because if I see your outline, I can tell you, ooh, this scene is going to not work well after that scene. Let's move it around. You can shunt everything around. I feel like we can fix a lot of mistakes in the outline and make your script writing process a lot more streamlined and easier. So, because I hate the idea of having to write scripts over and over and over again. If I can just write one or two and just have to like noodle with them, I would much rather do that. And so that's what I do. And then of course there's things like art direction, lettering direction, proofing, all that kind of stuff. Even like I'm working for a company, and they have a really cool idea that they just sent me, and I was like, hey, it all sounds great. I think it's really cool, but we might have this legal issue. Check with your legal team and make sure that all of this stuff works out. So that's another thing that we need to be looking out for. It's like, hey, can you get in trouble for doing this? So yeah. And
so you're kind of that like, I don't want to say fact checker, but you kind of cover the butt a little bit, right?
I mean, I think it's important. And again, it's like what Travis shows us. It's, you got to have passion for it. You have to care. So for me, I walk into the process. I really want to care about it. I really want to do good by it. I want to bring the absolute best I can. And you know, no two projects are the same. Some are going to be absolutely amazing, and some are just like not going to be awesome. But what we want to do is make it the best version of itself we possibly can. You want to take it seriously. You want to care about it, because obviously whoever made it cared about it. So you put everything you can into it.
So like you yourself, especially as an editor who's like involved with so many projects, do you ever find it a struggle to keep your heart into a certain project? Because obviously it is a job still at the end of the day. But like, especially when you're a letterer or an editor, you're involved with a lot more projects than if you're just the writer or the artist, just because it's a little bit, you can stretch yourself a little bit across more things.
Yeah, I mean, some projects are
we love this guy.
We got you, homie. Much love. Yeah, you know, it's it can be tough. What is nice though is that because we can touch a lot of different projects, you don't have to put, like, I mean, for someone like Travis, like, let's go back to him for a minute, where he is in the expired world for as long as that entire project is going, because he's a publisher. He has to touch every bit of it. He really needs to care about it, or else it's going to show. Whereas I don't have to care quite as much, because I can come in, care, and walk out and worry about something else. So I think it's a little easier for me, actually. But I want to care. I want to touch a project and go, ooh, I'm so excited about this. Let's knock this one out of the park. So, and this was one of those when he said, "Hey Chuck, we're doing fantasy." I was like, "Okay, cool. I got you. I got your back. This is my stuff right here. Like, let's do it." So I was very excited to be a part of that.
So with expired, we've mentioned like a little bit of fantasy, sci-fi, western. Fans, I always ask writers or in their case an editor, because you've gotten a chance to look at all. Fans of like what type of books do you think would like this? Do you think guys like who like Dune and Firefly would like this, or do you think this is more in that Blade Runner area?
No, I would think less. It's not quite as dark as Blade Runner. I think Dune and Firefly is pretty good. Dune being kind of the concept, and Firefly being the attitude.
Okay, okay.
I think that's what of course, there's also the Western and all that kind of stuff too, but I think it has more of a Firefly attitude. It's a little more fun. Our main character is a little more, Han Solo-ish sort of deal. So yeah, I just think that I would look at it that way. So I think those two are really good ones to pick.
Okay, because yeah, as I was looking at it, and I'm thinking maybe more in the scenery. I'm like, this has a feel for that. And then, obviously Travis writes kick-ass lead characters, so obviously
Right.
this guy. And I told Travis from the get-go, I said, "Is it a coincidence you put the man in a brown coat, though? Like the man looks like a more distinguished, older Nathan Fillion there, you know?" So,
Right.
um, talk to me, Chuck. So you have a book that's on our shelves called
I do.
Belial.
Yeah.
People have liked it here in the store. I've had people ask about number 2. Do you have an update on the world of Belial?
So Belial 3 is the one I'm working on right now. And you know what? It's slowed down because of me. I have so many other things that I'm doing, and I tend to worry about all of my paid projects before my personal stuff, which is sad, because poor Sean Barbour is my partner on that, and he should have had that script forever ago. I think the other aspect of it that's been really difficult is if you read issue 2, I've separated 2 of the main characters, Link and Belial. And Link is very much the heart of comedy in that book. And how do you have a comedy book without the main source of comedy? So how do I still bring that in, make it feel real, and really do that justice? And so one of the things that I did to do that is I brought in 2 new characters. I always forget the characters, but they're based on the Muppets, those 2 old men who are always
Statler and Waldorf or whatever.
yeah, Statler and Waldorf. They're based on that, but what happened was, and don't get sad, but between the last campaign and now, during the Belial 2 campaign, Sean Barbour's grandfather passed away, and then in April of this year, my stepfather passed away, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to bring both of those guys into the book? So we're basically bringing them in as a Statler and Waldorf, and so I'm taking that part really seriously, because of course they're going to keep us laughing during these very emotionally tense times during the book. And so a lot of that is just me meticulously making sure I do it right. And I really, like, honestly, I'm so far into this script and I feel really good about it, but it's just about never getting ahead of myself and never feeling okay with just going, okay, fine, whatever, it's done. Like, I can't feel that way about this book. It's only 4 issues, and I want them to continually get better, get funnier, get stronger. And I feel like 3 is doing that. And my hope is that by month's end, Sean is going to be staring at a script in his email. So
Nice.
I believe first quarter of next year, you're going to be hearing big things about Belial 3.
Nice. I can't wait, man. Yeah, Belial even made a cameo in our commercial type promo that we did for Best of
That was great.
Orlando. Like it's cool. And again, I had some guys from Texas in the store once, and I was like, oh, you got to check out this book, and then they bought so it was cool to send a copy of Belial back to Texas from
I
the
love that idea. I love that so much.
So what I know technically Wendy would be the person, but do you have any update on Wendy's book on Viserion Tales? Do you know where she is on that?
I do. I know exactly where it's at. So we were having some issues with the artist, to be perfectly honest. And it's been a long time. In all honesty, this book has been worked on for 2 years now. And we're talking from an art standpoint. Literally, Christmas of 2019, because she was finished she was finished the script and she was getting her artist working. She's since had to change artists, but I gifted her a cover, and so that Christmas she opened up a present, which was I can show it to you another time, but it was the what will be the variant cover. And she just loved it. She was so excited. I was like, you don't feel like a real comic writer until you see art. So here you go. I want you to feel real. And she was like, oh my God, like she loved it. She keeps it above her side of the bed and everything. Like it's always right there. So yeah, that is almost done. We're literally talking the last 4 pages of pencils, and then once it's done pencils, the colorist is revving to go and everybody else. So I believe that that's another like early 2022 to mid 2022.
Nice. Is Tyler still doing the art on that?
No, Tyler just did the art for the short. We actually have another guy, Dino Agor, who's doing the art for it, who's talented as hell.
Nice. No, you guys have a knack of finding some awesome artists. Like even Tyler was amazing. Like I don't know how you guys all go about it. I don't envy. I'm sure it's a long process for all you guys, like for Travis to find an artist and everything like that. But you guys have been really lucky. I feel like every Orange Cone production, especially even the anthologies, the thick boys like Cthulhu Invades Oz, every artist in there. I mean, Don Nguyen was phenomenal. I mean, I think he was it J.W. Sims does some stuff in there as well. Like, I mean, we have, and a lot of those guys are Florida too, even I think. So it's crazy how talented a lot of people are that Travis is working with.
Yeah, you know what? I think the thing is that we've been really lucky because Travis and I both love and are a part of the community so much that actually finding talented people isn't that difficult. You're surrounded by them. The community is filled with them. It's just like, who's going to be best for this project? Who's going to work well with who, and just kind of figuring that stuff out. But it's not this far into the game. It's not as hard as it was 4 or 5 years ago when you were, scouring and you're going, who is anybody? And what's great is like, if Travis doesn't know someone, I probably know someone. If I don't, he does. And, so it works really well where he'll be like, oh, I have this cool idea. And I'm like, oh, well, this guy would be perfect for it. Who the hell is that guy? Look, come with me. You got to see his stuff. Like you should know this person. And so it's a lot of that.
So let me ask you, because one of our friends, he's worked the Orange Cone multiple times, but Jonathan Hedrick is a guy who very much started like his capable long before he had Recount. He was very much just like Travis and doing Kickstarters. And now his Recount did phenomenal through Scout Comics. A director was announced just the other day. I mean, the guy very quickly is going on the up and up. What's it mean to kind of you guys who are also a part of that group to kind of see one of your own be able to make? I know all of you know that it's possible. That's why you're kind of doing it as well. But to see him really do it in a matter of a year and a half.
I mean, it's great. It's really cool. We're all so proud of him. I got to work with him on Freak Show Night. I got to see what he did and be a part of that and whatnot. So I like the guy a lot. He's such a cool dude. I remember showing up, I think the 1st of May at the Collective this year, and I'm just getting started, just settling my stuff up. And all of a sudden, 2 big arms wrap around my chest, and it's Chuck. And I look around, and there's John Hedrick right over top of me because he's a tall dude. I'm like, oh damn, what's going on? Oh, it's so good to see you. Like, I'm hugging by holding my own chest.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just such a nice dude. Really, just I'm so excited for him. Of course, we all kind of want that kind of stuff too. But it would be very easy to be envious and be like, I deserve that stuff. But I haven't heard that, from
No.
myself, from Travis, from anyone else. It's more like, dude, good for him. All right. It's, what do I have to do to make that happen? What,
Yeah.
and then, so like, it's more motivating than it is. I haven't seen the green giant of jealousy kind of rage around. It's just been like, oh, okay, no, cool. What do I got to do? What am I, where am I aiming? What am I working on? So yeah, it's I think it's actually been really good. I think that's been a moment where you see someone go here and you go, cool. I believe I could do that. So what do I have to do? And it's just kind of everybody sort of working their way up, and yeah, John's been absolutely amazing, and at no point has he been a dick about it, which certainly he could be, right? Like, and no,
Anybody
right?
could get, like, I mean, it's a big deal,
Little,
especially to think that when I met John 2 years ago, Recount was just number one was in solicits, and he's working on Capable 2 or maybe 3 at the time. And it's like, and Capable was a great book. Heck, he just won an award, I think, for best independent series for Capable from a podcast. So it's like, he's worked on great books prior to this. It's just cool to see that one.
yeah.
I think all of you guys as writers, it's like you write them all hoping you get that break, but then all it takes is one. All it takes is one.
So that's actually an award that John and I share, because that was from the Comic Chat Authority. Actually, John, myself, and Travis. Travis is in there too. I believe he won for Voodoo Nations too. So it was their top 24 of 2021. And so Belial 2, I think it was Capable 3, and Voodoo Nations 2 all got that. So you're going to see pictures of all of us holding our little
I hope you guys
awards
at the ceremony. That's awesome, dude. No, I love that you guys all work together and you guys are all so super talented.
Yeah.
Chuck, before we get out of here, one more time, if you can tell them what they can expect from Expired #1 if they pick it up in store tomorrow.
I mean, expect the unexpected, guys. This is all the way from the gods creating the earth in the first couple of pages, all the way down to the little nobodies just trying to scurry to stay alive. This is a world that is treacherous, difficult to stay alive in, and these people are just doing everything they can, not only for themselves, but for the other people that they live with. So come join us on an absolutely amazing, fantastic voyage where we discover a world unlike any you've ever seen, where oxygen is a commodity and you need it to live, baby.
And we got a cool collective store exclusive cover. We only printed 30 of these bad boys, and the artist Elias, I believe it's Gonzalez, is going to be in the store tomorrow. So we actually have Brent's signature already. You can get these triple signed, and heck, if you really want to, let us know. We'll send it to Chuck. You can get it quad signed.
I would absolutely take care of that, 100%.
Yeah, and we got tons of covers. Travis has, I believe this is like a secret cover, so there's only one of these in the store. So we got a ton of covers. I have a virgin version of the collective. So stop by tomorrow, pick up your copies. Travis is going to be here from Open, I believe, unless he gets some more fights on the way. But he's going to be here at Open along with Elias, and they'll be here till about 5. Come get the book signed. I have $5 covers. I have the store exclusive at $9.99. I have some virgins at $14.99. And just come by and see us, man. Chuck, if they want to follow you on social media, maybe ask you questions, where can they find you?
Guys, you can find me on at Chuck Pino, Pineau, on Facebook and on Instagram. You can find me at Twitter at Chucky Pin. Of course, you can also find me on YouTube, Chuck's Raw Reviews. Come check that out. I have every Tuesday night. So tonight I have a new guest. I'll be talking to Clay Adams, who's got Red Xmas coming out from Scout. So come, and you know what? We love to sit and talk about our processes, creation, all that kind of stuff. So if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in, come on out, check it out. And then I also review comic books. So there's so much stuff to check on my channel. I'd love it if you guys popped in.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys even semi-enjoy this show, Chuck's show is a good one to check out. And also Kevin Joseph runs a show. I love your guys' shows because since you guys aren't time constrained, I'm doing this live from the store while we have stuff. You guys run for like hour, 2 hours. Mm-hmm. It literally just becomes a comic chat, and I love that about you guys. Just, creative process. You guys are just doing it all. So it's awesome, man.
I like that Kevin and Will Allred is his partner. Mm-hmm. The three of us, I think, without ever talking about it, we all have a very similar dynamic, and that is, yes, we could literally talk forever, but you can feel when the show is popping and when it's with pretty much done everything it can. So yeah, I've had some, like, I try to do an hour. If I'm with a guest who I'm super excited about, boom, it could go 2-3 hours. But at some point you're gonna feel it start to, okay, all right, I think everyone's had enough, and you just reel it in, you finish it up. And I think all of us take that very seriously. I've seen some shows that go on for 6 hours and you're like, no one's even watching this anymore. What are you doing?
Yeah. I've seen guys do 24-hour stream, and it's like,
Oh,
congrats. How are those other 12 hours? You know?
right. How are the other 22? Like, I'm sure most people are only in for a short period, or they'll pop in like at hour 16 being like, is this guy even alive? And it's just like him snoring, peeing in a bucket. Like,
yeah. It's like, oh, I'm glad that guy, somebody called a wellness check on that guy. Trish asked, when are we bringing Chuck back out? Well, I mean, if we're seeing some uptick on both Wendy and Chuck stuff for mid to early 2022, maybe we'll get you guys back out here for all of that. We have plenty of stuff for you guys to sign. There's no shortage of it.
We love, like, honestly, and this isn't just some butt kissing time, man. We love being in Orlando, and we love the collective. So it's not even an issue, dude. If it's time to take a trip, we'll gladly do it. We've done it 2 years already. We'll make it a third in a heartbeat.
Heck yeah, man. We'll find a perfect time with all the books coming out, and we'll get you guys back out here. So Trish, Mike, we'll definitely have you guys. Also, Trish and Mike, since you're on here, thank you so much for not just the Christmas card. I believe there was like a Halloween card. You guys are awesome. They always think of the collective, and I always put them over in Max's area so he feels a little love. So thank you guys. Chuck, thank you so much, man. I can't wait to get expired in everybody's hands for people to see your good handy editing work. I feel like it's like a scalpel you're in there. But take it easy, Chuck, man. You stay safe, and we will see you next time, man.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. And seriously, check out the book. You're going to love it.
Thanks, man. So thank you so much to Chuck, who filled in last minute for Travis. Travis is still going to be here tomorrow from 10 to about 5 o'clock. He'll also be on the auction. We have the store exclusive of the expired collective cover, $9.99. Virgin version of it, $14.99. You can get it triple signed because they're already signed by Brent. We also have the secret cover, and all his other covers are also going to be available tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, and make